So, welcome everybody. We are absolutely thrilled that you are here with our Thriving with Woman to Woman series. And I'm Rachel Justice, for those of you who don't know me, and along with Jillian Levinson, I co lead Woman to Woman. And I'm going to speak briefly in the beginning, and then you're not going to hear from me because I get to just be a participant and turn this over to Audrey and Lionel. But I do like to start this group each time by reading the description of the group. We have a lot of woman to woman offerings, and I want to make sure you know where you are and why you're here. So we start with this lovely quote from Maya Angelou, which is, "The question is not how to survive, but how to thrive with passion, compassion, humor, and style." And the purpose of this monthly group is to help you nurture the non-cancer aspects of your life and thrive despite challenges. Navigating a cancer diagnosis and survivorship can feel like a full-time job. It can easily overtake your life and be the lens through which you view all of your experiences and interactions. However, you are extraordinary women with interests, hobbies, passions, fears, dreams, and so much more. You all deserve to feel happy and fulfilled. Co-led, and that's really an understatement because I'm going to say led, by Audrey Carlson, woman to woman volunteer and founder of the Hartford Happiness Club. This group will alternate esteemed guest speakers like Lionel Ketchian with topic-driven interactive exercises to help participants learn how to achieve balance so you can not just survive, but thrive. We do, in the blast we sent out, we did have Lionel's bio, but I think I'm going to just let Audrey introduce him. Again, she has a close personal relationship, and some of you might have heard Lionel last time, or 2 times ago, I guess. But I'm going to turn the floor over to both of you.
Thank you. So for those that are just zooming in, my name's Audrey Carlson. I live in the Hartford, Connecticut area, and I have been fortunate enough to have met Lionel Ketchian a number of years ago and immediately loved his smile on his face because without saying words, he exudes happiness and love and kindness. So the long and short of it is, because I don't want to take the time away from Lionel, we met and immediately connected through our mutual love of learning and love and kindness and positive psychology. And the Happiness Club does all of that. And I just thought it would be a wonderful idea to add this to the already existing, very successful, ongoing, forever and ever, the Woman to Woman program. And Lionel spoke, I think it's 2 months ago, and it was so successful, and with lingering questions and how we can continue the conversation and asking some more questions about thriving and the choices that we can make. And I just want to give you a little brief bio here that with Lionel. He is the co-host of the weekly cable television program, The Happiness Show, and the author of Be Happy Zone column, which appears in the newspaper in the Fairfield Citizen News. He's also the author of Food for Thought. And since 1983, Lionel has spent his time empowering and enlightening hundreds of individuals through seminars and workshops, teaching that the state of happiness is a conscious choice. And to add to that, we all have that choice. So without any more of me going on, I'd like to basically introduce my dear friend and family, Lionel Ketchian, to all of you. Thank you. Here you go, Lionel.
Thank you. Thank you, Audrey. Thank you, Rachel. Thank you, everyone. Thanks for having me back. I must say that it's a joy to be with you, and I appreciate each and every one of you. And I want you to know I love each and every one of you, whether I know you any more than seeing you on the screen or maybe the last time we might have met. And I love to say I love us because I include my self-love with you because I love you, and I work on loving myself as well. I think those two things are extremely important. The more we love ourselves, the more open we are for others. And so what I'd like to do, I think, is since you're having me back and there were some questions and thoughts, there may be thoughts or questions or ideas that you may have or comments, whatever is on your mind. maybe you could direct them to me and I could start by answering those thoughts that are on your mind right now. You know, whatever it is that you're living with right now or concerned with or anything like that, that might be a good way to start. I think if you'd like to, then it would be just unmuting or raising your hand and asking whatever's on your mind. We'll try that, see if that might be of interest for anyone.
Oh, Susan, not. Yes, Susan. You unmute yourself. Hi.
Yes.
Hi, Susan.
Hi there. Thank you so much for coming, Lionel and family. So let's see, boy, I have an advanced cancer and my doctor's really negative. And so I'm trying not to let that voice dominate my head. And so I'm a God girl. So I'm praying and I'm saying affirmations, and I am generally a really sunny, optimistic person and am trying to stay on that track. But sometimes my doctor's voice will come in and say, "You're going to die. We're going to run out of options. That's it." And it's I just I have those moments where I let his voice in. But in general, I've been pretty good about keeping his voice at bay. But any suggestions as far as just kind of riding that that balance of trying to stay on the positive side, just when in the middle of the night when that voice creeps in, any thoughts on that, Lionel?
Any thoughts? Well, if we were together for the rest of the day, I wouldn't run out of talking with you on this subject. I'm right there with you. And
Thank you.
there's more than hope. I could see it in you, Susan. You have the ability to cope with this situation. Okay. And you're not alone here. You know that. I love what you shared with me just when you introduced you're a God girl. You want a short answer? You want a real short answer?
Sure, of course.
But a powerful one, a powerful one.
Yes, yes.
All right. You got a paper and pencil?
Oh, I'm a note taker. Absolutely.
Well, write these words down. Let go,
Okay.
let go, and can you finish that statement?
Let God.
Bingo. you, you did it.
You gave me a big clue.
Well, I'm not giving you this
Beautiful.
advice arbitrarily. I follow it myself.
Beautiful.
And,
Beautiful.
whether it's a spiritual aspect that we take on, like Eckhart Tolle or Michael Singer, or, there's a whole list of them alive and passed away. And, just yesterday, on Happy You, I have a Monday night for the last 6 years. We've been running a Happy You teleconference, and they're all recorded and they're on my website, happinessclub.com. You could listen to yesterday's segment,
Great.
which is really right up your alley, up all our alleys, really. And it's about the inner being environment. There is an environment within us where, Susan, I would suggest that when you go to this peaceful environment, now there's an environment out here, and that's where we have cancer. That in October, I went through open heart surgery.
Wow.
I asked myself the same question as I was admitted in emergency. You got to get down there right away. Don't eat dinner, get down there,
Right.
And I was in a hospital for 10 days. I had a quadruple bypass.
Wow.
So here's the thing. I asked myself that question when I got in the room, and I said to myself, I don't want to die. You said those very words, the die, and then it occurred to me, and I laughed about it, that, I got news for me, Lionel. You are going to die. So that's not the question. You're not asking the right question. I don't want to die. Well, we are going to die. The question is, not now.
Right, right, right,
Yeah,
right.
that's all the question is. And the reason I bring this up, not to be morbid or anything, but to thrive. Once we make friends with death, there
Mm,
is nothing over us anymore. Nobody's got anything. Nobody's got
mm,
anything over us. And I not only do I love letting go is very powerful, even for those who don't believe in God or don't want to go that way. But for those who don't believe in God, there is a universe, there is intelligence, there is, what is. And so I was on the path well before this, in letting go, in accepting. There's a book called Radical Acceptance, but I use joyful acceptance, and I do accept everything. As a matter of fact, I love what is. I've learned to do that because it frees me.
wow.
And in loving what is, I let go and let God. And this isn't a sermon. I'm not preaching. I'm not Joel Osteen. I'm just me. And it's just so simple. The weight is off me. I have, and Susan, you have two voices in your head. You have yours and you have this doctor. You don't need either voice. Don't
Mm,
listen to any voice. When you let go and you let God, you've surrendered to something greater than yourself,
mm.
and it's already being done. It isn't like, and whatever happens will be perfect. You know that, right, Susan?
I think I don't know if I'm quite there, but
Okay,
I understand.
you understand. Now,
Yes,
here's another way to look at this. Um, so you're dealing with this situation in your life, which is, let's call it difficult. Is that fair to say, Susan?
absolutely.
Now, does this make rational sense to you? Do you think it's a good idea to make it more difficult on yourself?
No, I have learned that does not work to make it worse. Yes, you are right.
Right. And the doctor is here to help you, but I'm not putting any blame on him. But if you listen to him, he's going to make it worse.
Right. True enough.
Audrey introduced me as meeting me, and we met over a conference with Dr. Bernie Siegel, a mutual friend of ours.
Beautiful.
And Dr. Bernie Siegel wrote Love, Medicine, and Miracles, and he's renowned for dealing with cancer patients and finding that their attitude set them free, reverse
Mm,
their diagnosis. They didn't die on command. They didn't die when they were supposed to. I
right.
did 2 radio shows with Bernie, and I had firsthand I listened firsthand to people around the world sharing, oh, I was told I'm going to die, and the doctor didn't want to see me more, couldn't do anything. And I was in the bookstore and I pulled off this tape in a used bookstore and I listened to it. And that was 40 years ago. She's supposed to die. So listening to the tape, here she is. So
Wow.
what I'm saying to you is, if you listen to that voice in your head, you're making it harder on yourself. You don't need
Right. Right. Exactly. Yep. 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 Makes sense. Makes sense.
I love you, Susan. I know you're going to do real well with this because I could, when I got on, you were smiling. Where does that come from? That smile, that inner, where's that? That's you, isn't it?
Yeah.
Well, that's all you need. You really, when you start dwelling, you're dwelling in the wrong place. Dwell within you and let go, and you're there. You're there. As soon as that thought comes in, let it go.
Right. Right. Right.
That
Right. Right.
thought
Good.
does not serve you.
Right. Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah, you wouldn't speak that way to someone else. You wouldn't.
I would never speak. I would not. Of course, I would not.
Yeah. So
I
you
would, I
got
would
you got it
encourage
now.
them. Yeah.
So next month you could be the trainer for all of us because you're there now. You're now stepped into the platform of knowing how to handle everything. And you want the last thing I'll share with you is you and I have been given a gift. This is a wake-up call for us to learn to enjoy our life, because what you really want is not to fight the cancer, but to live every day of your life with joy. and
Oh, so
happiness.
true. So true.
So nobody can stop you from that mission. No one.
Beautiful. I love that.
Congratulations, you graduated.
Thank you, Lionel.
I
that
love
was
you, Susan.
beautiful.
You're beautiful.
I love you back. That was beautiful, Lionel. Thank you so much. So much
Thank you.
wisdom.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you from my heart.
Oh, right there with my new plumbing in my heart.
With your new plumbing. I love it. And congratulations on getting through that heart surgery. That was a big
Oh,
deal.
well, nobody's going to have a chance if you and I continue because, we just, this is beautiful. So I was in the hospital for 10 days. I had a 7-hour operation. Nobody's going to believe this, but this is how the inner being environment practice started. I said to myself, I don't want to be in fear. I'm not going to entertain fear in my stay. And so, you know what happened, Susan? I had the best 10 days of my life. Now, nobody should believe that. If you are, you're foolish, but it's true because I could hardly believe it. And the reason was because I stayed in the moment. I enjoyed it. I was happy and I was doing what I wanted to do. And if I'm going to die, then I'm going to die. But boy, what a way to go. I enjoyed the whole journey. It turned into a vacation, a retreat. I had ministers and rabbis walking in. Can I pray for you for a minute? And I would say, oh, I would welcome that. Thank you very much. Come on in. And an hour and a half later, 2.5 hours later, when they left, we had a wonderful time together. I mean, I was on vacation having a ball.
Beautiful way to look at that.
And the doctor and I never stopped telling jokes with one another. Before the operation, after the operation, I had a picnic. I had a wonderful time. You can make what you want out of life.
Yes.
Let go, let God, and you're thriving. Nobody can do better than that. And you know what? You've been given a gift. There is a gift there showing you how strong you really are. You would never know this.
Right. You're so right. Yep.
Are there any people on Zoom today that remember meeting Lionel at the last Zoom meeting that we had that had those questions? Or perhaps, Lionel, do you remember of any of the women that perhaps reached out to you that had those questions or wanted?
I'm not sure if Janet.
I just wanted to also mention Rhonda did have her hand up before. So
Okay,
Rhonda, if you
Rhonda.
still have your
Okay.
question.
Sure.
Hi, Rhonda.
Hi, everybody.
Hi, Rhonda.
Thank you. Lionel, I'd like to transfer what you just said to my present day worry about what's going on in the world. How do I, let go of that, stop looking at the university protest, worrying, etc.
Yeah. Well, it's very simple, Rhonda. Just go back to your cabinet and tell them all to create peace in the world. That's the best way to do it. If you can't do that, if you're not sitting on top of the heap of the ruling party, then the next best thing you could do is let go of that. There's I forgot the session before we did a segment on let them. Someone is in your face and they're angry. Let them. You know what that does when you let people do what they're going to do? It gives you peace. You know what we want in this world? I used to think it was peace on earth, but right now that's on hold for me.
Yeah.
Peace within myself. And I can have it by not being engaged in other people's stuff because it's other people's stuff and it will continue to go on. So the world will continue, but that doesn't mean it has to drag you in and affect your state of mind because you can, it takes presence. And that's why being in this, you see, you're in this outer environment. And we all know what's happening out there. There's a lot of chaos, a lot of confusion, a lot of disruption. But in here, inside you, there doesn't need to be that. We could find this spot where we can live with peace within ourselves by being present, by allowing ourselves to connect to the present moment, into the now. And that resides within us. It's a space within us, an environment within us that we can create. In fact, I'm wrong. We don't create it. It exists within us. We got to do a little bit of house cleaning in there. We got to get rid of stuff that doesn't belong. Like Susan's getting rid of that doctor's voice that's in there. We don't need that. Talk to you later. Make an appointment with me if you want to talk to me, and pay me. So the answer is in our thinking, and when we're in this inner environment, it's easier not to let those thoughts in, because it's like being in a submarine and there's a leak. Those thoughts are like a leak. We'll drown in them. We'll never be able to make the world exactly the way we want it, because everybody wants it a different way. So if we leave the world out there for a minute, we have a whole world inside us. And we're very powerful when we let go, because then the universe, God works through us, and things happen that I'm starting to find are just incredible. I mean, really incredible. Our fears are our enemy. So there are aspects of our thinking. And the other thing, and I'll wind it up with this last thing. When we're in this inner environment, we're at peace, we're at one with love. When we look at the outer environment, there's conflict because there's separation. There's you, there's me. But you know something? In here, Rhonda, there's only you and me. I love you. And I have no separation between you and me in here. Out here, yes, you're out there, I'm over here. That's physically. But there's a spiritual dimension to living. And that's when we bring it into ourselves, when we love another person as much as we love ourselves, then there's nothing to fear anymore. And my advice really that I'm following for myself is love it the way it is. Love life the way it is. And then there's no judgments, and you're free, because it's always going to happen. Nobody's going to knock on your door and say, Rhonda, is it okay if we invade Spain today? Nobody's doing that. So people will do what they want to do. You ever notice that? And I got more information. We can't control anyone. We have a hard time controlling ourselves, for that matter. So the real control is letting go and living in our bliss, in our joy, in our happiness, in our peace. And then we find freedom within us. And then you become a shining light for everyone.
Beautiful. That was so helpful. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Rhonda. Good luck, and I know you could do it.
Thank you. Yes. Yes, I can.
May I
Marlene
just
has her hand up also, just when you're done, Audrey, that Marlene's hand is.
just one quick little, I've had this conversation with so many people because of the chaos and because of the concern and because of the growing hatred and because of the uncertainty. And all for me, I can do is trust and understand that there's more good in this world than bad. And you're not always going to see it on social media or the news, but trust that there's more good than bad. And the processes that our cycle of life are going through now, just trust that not only this too shall pass, it'll change, it'll evolve. And all I can do on a personal level is I can't do anything to change anything except lead by example. And do what Lionel says, is just trust the process, live my life with the greatest joy, and find that inner peace, and just trust the process. And I do have faith. And I know this too shall shift and change, because that one constant in life is change. You can trust, whether it's good, bad, or ugly, that again will change again and again and again. So who else is next? Whoever's hand is up, let's go.
Lionel, I was going to ask you something very similar to what was just asked, but as I was listening to your response, I don't quite know how to express this. I've encountered people who very much go into their inner place, and at the same time, there are also people who are extraordinarily detached from a lot of the issues that involve them and others in their personal life. In other words, they use going inside and I don't want to hear about it. I don't want to know the news. I'm just living in my world. They use it as an excuse, quite frankly, to disengage and to not participate, for lack of a better word, in the important issues that are going on, with family and with friends or whatever. I don't know if I'm expressing this properly, but my concern is that a lot of people just their excuses, I don't want to hear it, I don't want to deal with it, it's too much, I need to keep my peace, blah blah blah. And I don't disagree with you about going within your inner self. Of course you must do that always, but I also feel we have a responsibility in the world, depending on who we are, and to our families and to our friends, to engage in certain things that are not pleasant, that are uncomfortable, that are not happy places, but they're a part of our responsibility and our love and our commitment to be present for other people. And I guess I'm a little confused sometimes when I'm hearing you, because sometimes it seems like to be utterly happy is to be selfish. And quite frankly, a lot of people I know who are blissfully happy are some of the most selfish people I've ever met in my life. They're blissfully happy because they will not listen to anyone else. They do not want to concern themselves. And I guess I would like to hear your take on this, because I obviously I do believe that people need to create their own inner happiness, but in that process we cannot disassociate ourselves from the pain of the world. I mean, if you know people right now who are living with the situation with missing family members in Gaza and whatever, it's real hard to go to an inner place, because all you want to do is find some way to do something to take away some of their pain. But we're not the government. We can't, I mean, protesting clearly doesn't do enough. But I guess, again, I'm not expressing it. It kind of seems to me that a lot of people have taken this position and used happiness as the excuse to not engage. And I just, if you could address that issue, I would appreciate it.
Oh, sure, absolutely. And so you're using words and thoughts to express your feelings and ideas and beliefs. And so there's nothing I could say about that except that you're right, because these are your thoughts, your beliefs, and your ideas.
And my
And
reality. I mean,
oh
I've
yeah,
met,
you're absolutely.
so, I mean, I'm not making it up. These people
Oh,
exist.
I know.
You know?
This is your reality, but there is a different reality that we can have. One of letting go and letting God, letting go, letting the universe. And I don't think that all these people that you mentioned love what is. I don't think they love everyone. I don't think they're doing what I'm talking about.
Ah, okay. I think you made that point, but they're thinking that they're doing it, but they're not really practicing it as you've expressed it, because you're saying if you do love everyone, you're somehow going to manage both your inner self and your interactions with those that you care about.
Yeah.
If I'm understanding it, in other words, you're not saying that to retain your inner happiness you have to abandon other things in your life. You're not saying that, are you?
Well, that's the last thing I do. Audrey and we are dedicated to doing things all the time for others. I mean, last night I had a 2-hour session. We've been doing that every Monday for the last 6 years with, over 30 people that are on. So no, absolutely. And not only that, but my day is filled with working with people and talking with people. And frankly, it's not a labor, it's not work, it's just love. I love doing this. I love talking about it, and I love feeling really well. I love living my life um, flourishing, really, and that's what this group is all about. It's not about surviving. Certainly, that is this group. So if we really want to, right now it's on a nameplate, flourishing. I'm saying, listen, you could thrive, you could grow. Don't listen to your thoughts. Don't listen to other people's thoughts. Don't listen to my thoughts. Find your way for yourself. But if you're not living in joy and peace and ultimately living in freedom, and basically in freedom from your own negative thoughts. This is important, because in my life, I've gotten to the point where there's zero negativity allowed. I just don't allow it, and I don't need it, and it just brings me down. And it also brings everyone else around us down. We know what's going on in the world. The point is, it isn't even the point that how are we going to change it? The point is, what behaviors are we going to change within ourselves so that we can experience a joyful life? Because when we do that, when we give up the the negative behaviors that we're responsible for, like Gandhi said, be the change you want to see, then the world can change, because it says, wait a minute, Lionel, you're having too good a time over there. How do I get a piece of what you're doing? Well, let go. You don't need to do anything. See, we are so hooked on having and doing our way. We don't understand that our beingness is what's really important. We don't know how to live there. It's the third component of humanity, and nobody knows anything about it. Being. We have an inner being that we are neglecting, and we're responsible for that neglect, because the world's problems are from the fact that people don't understand how to be responsible within themselves about cleaning out the garbage that's within them. You'd be surprised how much garbage we carry around. And that's the real problem.
I think I understand, but I just want to be sure that what you're in any, I think you just answered it by saying that, one of the things that does bring joy many times is that I find that happiness comes if you can say one kind word to somebody to cheer them up. I mean, I always try to think before I have a conversation with one of my friends or my family. I try to think right beforehand, what can I say to them today that's going to make them feel better? Because I love them, and some of them are in very, very challenging situations. And anyone you care about, whether it's your neighbor or family or the rest of the world, because ultimately we have to care about everyone in the broadest sense of the word. When you say you love everyone, in essence, that's what you're really saying is, I'm loving the world beyond myself. But I find sometimes that it's hard to give hope and faith to people because you want to help them to be closer to to use your terminology, to their inner being. But they're in so much pain sometimes because of circumstances beyond their control, because we are not in control of a lot in our life. We can control our reaction and our thoughts about it, but we can't control certain realities. And I guess what I'm trying to do is to reconcile how sometimes you can have the goal of maintaining the inner being and the responsibilities to within that, and then connecting with other parts of the world, where other people where perhaps they've not been exposed to all of the things that you've shared with us, which are extraordinarily helpful. And I remember your first session, I took so many notes and I keep reading them all the time, because it's like, wow. And every time I read them, it's still the same thing. It's like, yes, 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 yes. But I guess I was just saying, and again, I'm not expressing it very well. I'm just trying to find a way to integrate it, because not many times, but sometimes in trying to help others to feel better, they feel like you're trying to get them to be happy all the time, and they don't feel happy all the time. And I guess if I'm understanding correctly, we have to reconcile within our own being that we have to let that go, that that's their feeling, and that we can love them and try to show it, but that can't necessarily make it better for them. I mean, I don't know. Is that making any sense? I don't
Yeah,
know.
well, yeah, absolutely. And I would suggest this thought, um, and it is that we can't control other people as much as we care to, and we love them, and we want the best for them. That's all true. And I think that, as Audrey said, there are so many wonderful people in this world. Oh my God, my heart is moved every day by the people I encounter, and even the depth of some of the people that I've come to know is just grows and grows. But the thing is, I've learned something in life, and because I've been talking about happiness for 24 years now, and I can't uh, make anyone happy, nor do I really want to, because if I explain that happiness is a choice you can make, it means you can make it. I can't make it for you, and that it's really up to you. So I, if I wanted you to be happy, which I actually, it would be nice. It'd be nice for you if you were happy. But if I demanded you to be happy, then I want to control you. And a lot of times we're controlling others, and we can't. And people don't like being controlled. So if you just, it's like putting out a dish of food. You can put out a dish of food, but if you're shoving it down someone's throat, then you're not really feeding them and you're not taking care of their well-being. So the best we can do is do the best we can for ourselves and others. That's the best we can do. Now, there is a very interesting way to utilize what I'm talking about in this inner being environment, because you're not just enjoying the peace of mind you have within you, but as things come up in your mind or outside in the environment, things come up every day, or somebody talks nasty to you or says something that you don't agree with. That is a reaction. It's being triggered by something within you that you can learn to release and let go of. Because otherwise, the world will always manipulate you and have power over you. And so what I'm really talking about is a way to not give our power away.
Okay.
And to enjoy our life and empower others. My life is all about empowering others.
Yeah.
But only they can do it. I cannot jump down their throat and make them.
Yeah.
Nor do I want to.
I get it. But and just to be clear, my approach when I speak to people is not about, it really is not about being forceful, because I have learned over the years as an older adult that the only way to reach people is to just, as you said, I think it's a good analogy. And you say, put the food out, you want it, whatever, and you get the choice. But I think what you just said reminds me again, is another one of those aha moments. It's like, yes, pay attention to why you're having a reaction, see what's triggering it, and then go and figure that out within. And I think you're right, because I remember having conversations with people and afterwards saying, so yeah, what was really going on here? And then I'm like, oh, okay, I see what's happening here. All right, I see where I'm coming from, because it's a reminder that we're bringing ourselves to a situation in terms of our response to people. And part of being within yourself is, it's like not confusing the issue with someone else. In other words, be clear about where we're coming from and not be thinking about how it's really from someone else. And again, I'm not expressing it as well as you just did, but it's always very helpful. And I think your ability to communicate to us in such a very clear way is a great asset. So thank you very much.
Well, I want to say one last thing to you. I think what you just communicated to us could not have been said better. So I congratulate you with what you communicated, because it was really perfect, very insightful, wonderful. And I can't thank you enough for that insight.
Well, thank you very much. And I'm just grateful that you're here speaking to us, because it's very, very inspiring. And it's very clear that your dedication is so sincere, and it's so good to see someone like yourself and Audrey and all the members who are really so open to being present for people. It's a great gift. Thank you.
Anybody else have their hands up?
Can I make a suggestion? Can we take 3 deep breaths? I'll lead you, and then we'll just resume, because I think breathing and relaxing are unbelievably inspiring. So let's do that. Let me, I'm going to close my eyes. You don't have to. So let's take a deep, deep breath. Hold it. And then exhale. Let it all out, all the tension, get it all out. All right. Now take another deep, deep, deep breath. Hold it. And let it all out, all the way, all the tension, all the stress. Let it all out. Okay. One more deep breath in. Okay, let it out. Perfect. Okay, we're done.
And I saw that Myra, I think, had her hand up. And you're just muted if you want to unmute yourself.
Hi. I'm new to this group, and I am a cancer survivor so far. I passed this year scan, and
Yay!
Thank you.
Right.
And I'm finding that because of my age, I'm 76, I'm learning a lot about myself that I kind of almost would rather not know, because I have adult children who still need their mom. And it's very hard. So that's
Is that the kids again?
no, my
I'm
kids don't
kidding.
live.
I'm kidding.
Okay.
So Myra, let me ask you a question. Are you living for your kids?
Uh, Possibly, yeah.
How
I mean,
about living for yourself? That's when you're really going to thrive. As a matter of fact, unless you live for yourself, you're not really doing very much for them, as far as I'm concerned.
I know. I do know that because I know that they feel better when, I mean, for one thing, they feel better when I'm independent and when if I'm going out to eat or doing something that I like to do. And yeah, you're absolutely right. It's a hard lesson to learn though.
Well, I've come to think, and I'm a little bit older than you. I'm 78. So you're just a kid, Myra. You
Just a
but
puppy.
yeah, exactly. So we all are. We're all a kid. If we're alive, we're still kids. The thing is that I really mean it when I say that we look at life as problems, especially with cancer. And I was fighting cancer last year. I went through 8 weeks of radiation. So I've been through quite a bit. Cancer, 8 weeks of radiation, open heart surgery, my brain, we're good with that. So
Yes, I
all
agree.
the other parts seem to be working, but the thing is that when I have I started looking at problems as maybe a challenge, and that was fun for me. But when I finally looked at everything as a gift, what can I learn from it? What does it bring me? What does it reveal about me? What happens? It's very hard to do that. I mean, Audrey lost her daughter in a murder in her home. And I mean, I can't call that a gift, and certainly it's not. It's a horrific thing. It's horrible. But here's the part that we have to live with. She had to go on living her life. Her family had to go on living her life. And if it wasn't for this horrific um, experience in her life some years ago, she would not be sitting here doing the work she's doing now in the Happiness Club, because this has revealed how powerful she really is to her. Without going through difficulty, I don't think we ever really find out who we are. As a matter of fact, I've come to the conclusion, if you want to think of God, if you do consider God, it's like a tap on the shoulder. God taps you on the shoulder because look, you're not going to change. You're not going to do anything if you're just sitting on the couch and you never have to move. So you get this tap on the shoulder and say, here, deal with this. And boy, does that wake you up. And now you got to deal with something. And we always look at everything as a problem. Well, that puts us behind the 8 ball. That creates a second problem. You got the problem you're dealing with, and then you got yourself as a problem that doesn't like the problem you're dealing with. You get rid of half your problems when you get rid of your unhappiness and you just face what you have to face. But that's God's way of waking us up to show you who you really are, what you're made of, and what good you could do in this world if you choose to. That's the way I see it. So my feeling here is love yourself, really love yourself. And I think, Myra, that's the mission for you. That's the gift. This is a wake up, a chance for you to live your life and be happy and live that life and have joy, because it isn't going to depend on whether, for example, I could hope or think that, oh, I hope the cancer doesn't come back or I don't have it or something like that. I hope my heart illness doesn't come back. But really, of course, but really, well, what am I going to do if I'm proclaimed healthy, cancer-free. I still got a certain amount of time to live. I got an expiration date somewhere. So I'm going to live and be happy. That's my whole reason for being here. Not to wait and find out if I'm going to die, or what are my odds of dying, or what are my odds of, you don't have to learn all about your illness. Learn all about what you want out of life. And then you're really steaming ahead. Then you're thriving. Then you made it. And Myra, you deserve to be happy. As a matter of fact, the best gift you can give your kids is to be happy. Show them you could be happy in spite of it all, and they will think, wow, there's a role model for me to live by.
I sort of know all this intellectually, but I don't feel it the way, I I try to tell myself, I need to feel happier. I need to be happier and do things I like to do and continue. It took me a long time to even want to fight cancer. I mean, I was fighting it, but I was dragging my heels every second of the day.
Well, if you forgive me for saying this, Myra, I'm listening to your words, and you say, I need to be happier. That's judgment. You may think it sounds like you want something good, but you're judging yourself for not being happy. Drop the thoughts. The thoughts are not our friend here. They're negative. Not because you're negative. All of our thoughts are basically negative. 97% of them, maybe 99, are negative. Drop the thoughts and just be happy. There is no way to being happy. You just put a smile on your face. I thought I saw one earlier on your face. Yeah.
We just saw one there.
That's the one I remember. And you're there. You don't need this to go right. You don't need that to go right. And here's the thing. When you're happy, you make things go better and even bring other things to you that is beyond our comprehension, because we don't have to think everything. The thing that Susan's got going for her in the words she wrote down, let go and let God, is God can do it better than we can. The universe can do it better than we can. Our thoughts don't help us. We don't know the whole picture. We're never working with the whole picture. Let the universe, which means everything, handle it. That's why I've surrendered to something greater than myself. And it works great. Let me tell you, I sleep well. I mean, life is phenomenal. And I'm going to die, and it doesn't bother me one bit, because now I found a way to live. Thank God for everything I've been through. Every last little thing that other people would call problems, they have given me a blessing and a gift. One more thing, I welcome everything, because you ever notice you have no choice over what's coming next anyway. So when you welcome it, you can handle it. And I think I mentioned the 2 rules I have last time I was here. Everybody deals with the second rule first. I don't know how I'm going to handle it. Sometimes we say that to ourselves. And the truth is, I don't know how I'm going to handle anything. But here's my first rule, and this should be your first rule. I can handle anything. I just don't know how, but I'll learn. I'll deal with it. Or when I say I can handle it, people come into my life and show me how to handle it. So I don't need to do it. I just need to know I can do it. And then I get very excited about this stuff. You know why? Because it's very real for me. And let me tell you something. I feel it could be real for you if you just start taking command that I can handle anything. There's nothing I can. You may not want to, but that's on you. And now when I welcome everything, I don't pick and choose. Oh, I like this. I don't like that. I don't care. It's going to happen anyway. I'll handle it.
Mm-hmm.
No big deal. Yeah. I hope it helps. And Myra, I get excited. I'm not yelling at anyone. It's me. It's me. I love you. I would love to jump in there and help you to say, wow, we can do this together, man. We can do it. But it's left on you to do it. So while we're together, I want to inspire you the best I can because I see something in you that you can do this. You can do, everyone can. You wouldn't be going through it if you couldn't handle it. You know, and that's when we say to God, how much more do you think I can handle? And don't ask that question. You could do it. Yeah. Myra, can you do it now?
Uh, once in a while, yeah.
But you know, when I say you can do it, I'm only saying to tell yourself you could do it. If you begin telling yourself, I can do it, watch what happens. Because what are you telling yourself is the question.
I know that I'm telling myself I should be doing better and what I need to do. What I want to learn from this is that I can do it because that's the only way to choose to live.
Yeah. And, you know, when you say I should be doing it better, Albert Ellis, a psychologist, said, don't should on yourself. So that's more judgment. Smile and just say to yourself, I can do it. You may not even know what you're talking about when you say it. You don't need to, because saying it is what drives you home, what drives the mechanism. Now you're in charge. You're not letting the thoughts come in and tell you what to think.
Can I interject?
You're directing them.
Can I interject?
Please.
So God helps those who help themselves. And I believe with all the work that I've done over all these years is that we become our words. Whatever you say is what is going to happen. So the word should or would, including the word but, is out of my vocabulary. I replace them with I can and I will and I have. And in place of but is the word and. The power of the word and. And I trust that not only if you can do this a little bit, you practice every day, even if it's 2 minutes a day, with words that you're going to do something you haven't done before, or words that are going to give you the positive inertia to get you moving and to just change your thought process. It's a practice, and you're going to rewire your brain, and you can do this. I know you can, because you've done it before. And that's another thing that I used to say to myself when I used to have to do these long runs, when I challenged myself with marathon running, which I'll never do again, but I wanted to know what it felt like. And I would say, oh my God, how am I going to do this? You did it once, you can do it again. You did it once, you did it again. And for as long as you know you have 2 eyes, a mouth, and 2 feet, you can ask questions, you can ask people, you can get the resources you need. You can call me and Lionel anytime you want if you need what we call a refresher. You know how you push the refresher button on your computer? It's very much like anything else. We all get rebooted. We need each other. That's why we have these meetings. And you got this. So there you go.
Thank you. Thank you.
Of course, of course. You have a wonderful smile. Who else has their hands up? Anybody else? Because we only have, I don't know, a minute. Rachel, do you see anything I don't see? What if we read what's in the chat?
Okay.
Because we have here that I found these 2 books helpful. We were made for these times by Kyra Jewel Lingo, and No Death, No Fear by Thich Nhat Hanh. And then another comment, I attended a meeting with Thich Nhat Hanh years ago, and he said, before you answer a phone call, take 3 deep breaths. He was addressing a group of business people, and we did it in our office, and it really changed our whole approach to conversations. So what I want to add to the 3 breaths is the work that I had to do because I struggled with severe anxiety after the trauma we went through. I learned how to not only take those breaths, but to breathe in what I need. I need calm. I need trust. I need to be empowered. I need whatever it is I need, and I breathe out what I need to get rid of. And if you can't come up with those thoughts, it's okay. just pause, take those 3 breaths, breathe in, breathe out. And what Lionel did set the tone for what we all needed at that moment. And you have this skill. We all have this innate gift, breathe in and breathe out. And I suggest that you practice that any time of the day, whenever you need it. You don't have to be in a situation at a red light where you're in a rush, just any time. And it helps tremendously. So those are the notes in the chat. And guess what? It's 1 o'clock. My goodness. Boy, did that fly. Right, Rachel?
It did.
Wow.
Now, this was wonderful. Thank you so much. Lionel, you have a big fan club here. Repeat customers, new fans. It's really been so inspiring. It's been really fascinating for me, like I said, to just sit back and watch the faces of everyone as they listen to you. There were so many heads nodding, so many people smiling. Clearly, everything that you said really resonated. And I'm so glad, Audrey, you deserve all the credit for knowing Lionel and for knowing these wonderful speakers that you bring to us and for creating this forum. And I think the message is just so loud and clear that surviving is not a high enough bar, that you all deserve so much more than just being survivors, that you deserve to thrive, you deserve to be happy. And however woman to woman can help you achieve that goal, we want to be here for. So we are open to suggestions. We are open to connecting you with resources. And, thank you for being here. But most importantly, huge thanks to Lionel and to Audrey for creating this incredible forum today. It was
My
very
pleasure.
special.
It's my pleasure. So before you Zoom off, is that possible that we Zoom off? You have a wonderful resource that you're offering women, the gifts of all the different things that they need to get through. And give me the name of it, whatever that is, because there may be some women here that don't know about it that can be gifted with this.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Are you talking to me?
No, Rachel.
I think you're talking about the Hugs at Home program, right?
Hugs at Home, yes.
Yeah, so this is a new program that we're just rolling out right now. And what that is that's a care package that can be sent to you, customized and sent to you. Anyone that needs just a little TLC, a little pick-me-up. So, again, let me know if you're interested. All you need to do is just, the main woman-to-woman email address, the one that you get your blasts from, woman-to-woman@mountsinai.org. Just say, Rachel, I'm interested in a Hugs at Home care package, and just let me know, and then I will connect you to the person who's coordinating it, and we will handle the rest. So another way to bring smiles, to bring a little joy and happiness into your lives. So thank you, Audrey, for that reminder.
And last of all, next month, we'll just talk openly about whatever we choose to talk about. And then I believe in June, on the 25th, a very dear friend of mine who Lionel knows as well, Margie Shapiro, will be our speaker on the topic of hope. And she is nationwide known for her speaking engagements on hope and the work that she's done in schools and bullying programs and the ADL. She's a remarkable woman who exudes hope and love, and she's all part of what we need, and you will meet her again. So there you go.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, everybody. Have a great day.
Have a wonderful
Thank
day.
you.
Thank you.
You too.
Everybody
Love
gets
us.
a hug of
Thank you
love
so
and
much.
healing.